All right. Welcome to episode 6 of the Rowdy Ones. We are here I'm here. Ryan is out celebrating his birthday. So happy birthday to the big man himself, Wild Man, and Captain America. Happy birthday.
Yeah,
We
happy
love
birthday,
you.
Wild Man.
And yeah, so episode 6, we have Jackson Frey here, Houston Heat. Came on this year with
Second
us.
appearance. Here we go.
Second appearance. I know it came quick, man. But I'm happy. I'm really excited to have you
Yeah.
on for a one-on-one because you are a very brilliant mind in how you analyze things that I've gotten to see is just like it's so spectacular how you break paintball down and just you're funny as hell. You're a great time to be around. So I'm excited to get to dive into this episode with you. So Jackson Frey, you grew up. Did your dad always own Blast Camp? Were you around that? Like how long ago
Yeah,
was
so
that?
uh yeah, so first off, thanks for having me, Hal. Appreciate you, bro. Always like talking
Anytime.
with you. And
Appreciate it.
yeah, so back in 2009, before that, never played paintball in my life. I think I was in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad had always kind of worked as kind of like managers. Like he worked at Best Buy, he worked at Radio Shack, and I think at this time he worked at Aspen Dental. And I think
Mm-hmm.
he really kind of just wanted to own a business, is kind of what he told me. And my uncle worked at Blast Camp and pretty much grew up all there all of his life, kind of in the
Mm-hmm.
same role that I'm in now in terms of like, working there during the week and then working there on the weekends. And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, up until then, I'd never played paintball. So I think I played paintball once um, before we officially bought Blast Camp.
Okay.
And that was all the way in 2009. So it's been a long time since then and a long journey for sure. But
Right.
until that or before that, I had never played paintball, which is really weird to think about and to play and to play back and to go through and like we're here now on Houston Heat and that one decision or that one moment like kind of causes a domino effect and everything. And so yeah, it's been fun, man. But 2009, all the way back in the day.
Dude, that's awesome. How old were you at that time frame?
So I think it was winter time. So I think I was already like my birthday had already passed. So I would have to have been 8. I remember at the time the like the rule or just the rule there was that
Mm-hmm.
you had to be 10 to play, and I just didn't really tell anybody, and I just kept on playing. So like
Right.
I did get to start a little bit early, but
Nice.
in the grand scheme of things, I think it really helped out and I was just having fun. Really haven't
Yeah.
stopped since then, as long as I can remember, besides if I've been hurt. But other than that, I'm still at
Mhm.
the paintball field. So,
Yeah. Now you get to grind out there. The world is your oyster.
mm,
That's so awesome. Um. So yeah, did you was it always a blast camp team that you played with, or did you kind of dive outside of that realm?
yeah, for the most part, from what I can remember, there was always a group of guys that I had always kind of kind of have known since I can remember, right? So like that's like
Yeah.
Nathan Abel Hassan, and then he has a lot of brothers and sisters, and so he played with his two brothers and his two sisters. So his whole family, and his dad still plays at Blast Camp to this day. His dad is a regular
Oh,
at
cool.
Blast Camp, going around
Oh,
there
wow.
playing open play. And so like and then Nathan's kind of friends that also played paintball. So like Elijah,
Hmm.
he does a lot of media nowadays, like Eli Guy Media. And so we
Okay.
kind of had our little group when we formed. And I mean, I think we had like a couple weird, like different names before it was Blast Camp. So, but like the original
Hmm.
Blast Camp was Blast Camp Revolution, and it was like,
Hmm.
this Blast Camp Shield. And I think either Nathan or my dad came up with that name. And
Yeah.
that kind of stuck, and that went on for a while. I mean, before that, and kind of throughout my career, like I've played indoor tournaments with like a team called the Rotten Kids. They're a good group out of Blast Camp now.
Okay.
Ronnie helps them out a lot, and they're a good group of guys.
Hmm.
But as far as like a organized team that actually played like outdoor tournaments, or at least like practiced and was organized, yeah, it's always been Blast Camp, and most importantly, it's always kind of been the same group of guys, which I think is important, you know.
Yeah. No, it is. And I mean, the three of y'all, what y'all got to bring into Heat is just incredible. I think y'all have done. I think y'all bring a lot to the table, and y'all have a lot to offer, even even to a team like Houston Heat, because y'all just have a different perspective. Y'all are the new, like, y'all are all rock stars, like, and I love it. And so y'all are just like the new guys on the team, but you just, like I said, you have so much to offer and just a different insight, because when you have a team and then you get another team involved into it, I mean, that's two different atmospheres, but it's so cohesive. It's a really cool thing to get to see. So
Mhm.
no, I think y'all
Yeah, I
are
think
just. Go
I think
ahead.
Ronnie said it. Oh, my bad. I
You're
think
good.
Ronnie said it the first time that we kind of got together there for the first practice. It's like,
Hmm.
Ronnie's perspective, I think, is probably the most interesting if you want to single out one person on the team, because he
Hmm.
worded it like he has his friend group over here, and maybe you have another friend group over here, and like when you combine forces, or when you introduce your friend group to another friend group, it's kind of like this, oh, I hope they like each other kind of stage. And
Right.
obviously, that was essentially the first practice out in Dallas. And
Yep.
and it went well. It was fun to try some things, the new formats and
Yeah.
everything. As we can see, they're kind of changing the formats in the finals here in the US and in Europe, and I think that's interesting to see. But I mean, it's a great opportunity, and I think even more so, I think everyone has a great attitude. And like you said, this is not like, it's not the easiest thing, but I think everybody understands that it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a cakewalk. It's not going to be just fucking instant success. That is not like what wins tournaments now, names, or just
Hmm.
having a good team on paper. It's
Yep.
all about the work, and that's why, unfortunately, you haven't been able to be at these last two practices at Blast Camp. But I think these two practices over the past 3 weeks have been really great. Being able to
Yeah.
play Infamous, they were able to fly a lot of their guys out
Hmm.
last weekend, and we got a really great grind. And we had, I think, everybody besides Mish there, and it
Yep.
was a great practice. A little bad weather 2 weeks ago, but overall, it's been smooth sailing, I feel like. But also, when the times come to where we have, times of disagreements, or just disagreeing, or just different perspectives, I really do think everybody is on the right page,
Hmm.
and on the right track of growing, and like getting better, in terms of just, okay, well, I just don't want to talk about this right now, or I don't want to get criticized, or I don't want to do this. It's a great mix of experience and younger guys, and that right
Yeah.
there should lend itself to a lot of learning. And when everybody really
Hmm.
cares, I think that is kind of like, the icing on the cake, or whatever you want to say. But that's
Yep.
kind of like the gel, I guess, if you want to say, to kind of bring that together to really make it work. And so, um,
Yes.
you Andy as well. I thought he's played great over the past two
Hmm.
weekends. Shout out to him. And yeah, of course, me, Cody, and Soap trying to just trying to learn as much as we can and fit in and kind of figure out what our roles are on the team and how we can best, utilize our skill sets and just get the team to win. That's the most important thing. Like at the end of the day,
Right.
nothing else really matters besides winning. Like I hope
Yeah.
that's what I want, and I think that's what everybody wants. And the
Hmm.
vibes this past weekend were amazing, and so looking forward at the next practice. I can't see why it's not going to be a great layout practice, and great vibes. So I'm excited.
Yeah. No, I'm pumped. I'm actually gonna fly down. I'm coming down to Houston next weekend. I'm gonna hang out, get a lot of content and
Hey, there we
stuff. So
go.
yeah. So this is
Awesome.
actually, as long as I've been with the team, this is my first, besides Dallas, but I mean, at first practice with the team at Wasteland. So I'm pretty excited. I'll be there flying Friday night. I get in at like 10, and then I'll be in and then I, take an Uber in or whatever. But I fly out Monday at some point, go back to work, and then head
Awesome,
back out.
man.
Yeah.
That'll
Yeah.
be
I'm
fun.
excited. No, it'll
Have
be
you at
great.
practice?
Oh yeah, I'm excited. But to chime in on what you said, y'all, I think y'all bring the fire that, we needed, because there, how to describe this? Everyone that we have now is buying in. Everyone believes in everyone. Everyone believes in Bird. Everyone is buying in. So we all have the same goal.
Yeah.
And so I think that is the most crucial part. If you have one person that doesn't buy in, well, guess what? It's
Mm,
it's a recipe for disaster, because then it's bringing everybody else down, and then the excitement and the fun and everything else that you love about paintball isn't there anymore. So I think that's what's an amazing thing.
mm.
And I don't think we could have asked for a better group of guys. Truly, because
Yeah.
it's been it's been really exciting to see this year. I think.
Yeah, and it's been fun too, We're having fun along the way. I think that's what's fun too, or that's what's good about it is that um we everybody gets along well too, So it's like everybody's
Mhm.
bought in, everybody's like you said, everyone's bought into not just the guys that you're with or the system or the team or the coach
Yeah.
or the team. It's like you're bought into the people around you and actually wanting to be there and like, see not I just don't want to have success. I want you to have success. And I think that's just kind of like a mindset that when it's really going well and we're still
Yep.
working on it. It's not
Right.
full fledged yet, but from the start of it, it definitely has been good, and we're working on it just like I said. So yeah, I know can't wait to play
I
paintball again, man.
Dude, I mean, right? It's the life and blood of what you do and what you want to be and have a legacy, right? Like
Hmm.
it's all part of it. And I think y'all just have the best freaking attitude. And I love it. And it's
Yeah,
like I said, the cohesiveness is just, it's there. And when you have the talent that y'all are bringing, and we got heat, you know, we got like all the the salty dogs, from, I mean, shit, Ryan's been playing since 97, right? That's wild. We
yeah,
got a lot of different perspectives, which when everyone buys in and you have all those different perspectives, you get to learn about how to word this. Y'all bring in different angles that we get to see, that we might not have seen, because we might be in a little bit stuck in an
hmm,
older way. Or I love it when y'all speak up. I love it when y'all speak up, because y'all always have great things to say,
yeah,
and I think they're all valid. So anytime y'all get to speak up to the other guys and they agree with you, they're like, yeah, everyone is just about it. So I'm super pumped, and I was really excited when we picked y'all up, but I am ecstatic now. Like getting to see y'all in motion with heat and everything else. It's incredible. It's a great thing. And so I want to thank y'all for taking this
Yeah.
step into the Heat organization, because y'all are awesome. On and off the field, y'all are just a great, great time. And so it's a ton of fun. So,
Yeah, and to kind of go back to your point,
mhm.
it's not like you guys didn't have fire, It's like Ryan
Yeah,
Moorhead, that guy's all fire, Like that dude's
right.
playing with his hair on fire at all times. And
100%.
and that's what I like about that guy is he's a
Mhm.
1,000% in it at every single moment of every single day. And for a
Yeah.
guy like me, like, paintball's pretty much been my entire life. And so I really appreciate that when you see that somebody really cares, and especially somebody that's been in the game for that long. You could
Mhm.
very easily be just kind of coasting, or just kind of there, or just kind of playing, or just kind of having fun, or just being there. But like for him, this is everything to him. And so
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. And I think you could say that. I think you could say that about, a lot of the guys on the team. I think I just came today, just went up with Ronnie, did a workout, ate some
Yeah.
lunch, hung out a little bit, like that. Those are the guys on this team, Mish, in
Mhm.
Russia or wherever he is, training all the
Yeah.
time, and
Oh,
riding bikes and running. He gave me a pair of running shoes the first day at the lake house, and it's like, dude, fucking thank you, man. I appreciate that. I
oh,
used them
I
the
love
other
Mish.
day to I dude, Misha's amazing. Misha's hilarious
Yeah.
also. You say I'm
Oh
funny, but
shit.
that dude only needs like 3 words to say to make you just die laughing, which
Oh yeah.
is just amazing. So
Hmm.
yeah, man, I just wanted to kind of touch on that. Ryan Moorhead, he's all fire. It's not like you guys didn't have any fire before we came here, but yeah, man, it's it's fun, man. I'm really excited, like you said too, and like we said, Ronnie, I think is a big part of this too.
Hmm.
Can't mention fire and desire and all of that without mentioning him. He's working every single day. We'll be playing tomorrow. So
Hmm.
yeah, man. But this is like our lives, at least on this team. Like I would hope, like
Yeah.
playing as much paintball and traveling and taking up as much time as we do, like it really takes a lot to win, and I think we know what it takes, and I think we're all willing to do what it takes. And when you think about the last tournament as well, to kind of talk about that too, it's like we were so close. I felt like we were playing well. That dynasty game, that's a really close game. They score the last point, and it looks like
Hmm.
a 2 point game, but that game was really close. And then the
Yep.
Russians game, I mean, Soap pulled a 2-on-1 out by just looking at shadows, is what he said,
Yep.
and barely losing that last point, or not scoring the point, like. And it's a lot of upside, I feel like, even with the fifth place result. Like, I've been saying that's the highest I've ever placed in pro, but it still feels like there's so much more to do, and so much more to achieve. And so yeah, man, I think everything's going in the right direction, like you said, for sure.
Yeah. And you know what? You couldn't ask for a better showing from Heat. First tournament, we
Yeah.
played what? You played the Dallas Exposition. You, what was it? Y'all had layout, and that was all the practice y'all had together. And to
And we had a
show
well, and
up,
we had a rainy weekend, playing in the rain, and then playing in the mud too.
yeah.
So yeah, there was not much time. And uh yeah, that's why I think these last two practices, over these past couple weeks have been so good, because we just need the time, like we need the time on the
Yeah.
field, but you need the time where we go out to dinner, and then we just chill out. You need that time where
Hmm.
where you just go, and you go just hang out with the guys in the hotel room, and you
Yeah.
just talk it up. So it's step
And
by
I,
step, and it's definitely going well.
yeah. And no, and what I love about, as far as what we've done in the past, we haven't had a whole lot of these practices like this. And it's part of the fire. Everyone's like part of everyone buying in, everyone being about it, everyone
Yeah.
dedicating their livelihood to this, you know. Um I think what it is when y'all get together, y'all learn how to coach yourselves. It's nice when you have a coach on the sidelines being like, "Hey, this happened." But during the tournaments, how every single point you come in, you give feedback. But now you're relaying even better whenever y'all are making your own calls. So then when it comes to, playing at Atlantic City, you're going to be even better at communicating with the team, with Bird, and saying, this is what we have
Hmm.
going on, and that's just you're going to boost that communication to the next level because it takes what y'all are doing now to get there. And so I'm just
Yep.
super pumped. I love every aspect of what's going on and how it's going on. It's great.
Hmm.
So, let's get into you.
Yeah.
So what, so your family bought the field, right? Did
Yep.
they buy the field in '09? And
Yep.
then is that what really started? You said that's really the first time you started playing paintball, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Never really played paintball before that. And then pretty much from there on, it was, let's see, I think probably about a good 5 to 6 years of just straight up, just playing
Mhm.
open play, just playing. I would always like a tournament back in the day would have been like Blast Camps hosting like a big game, and it's like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm gonna go hard for the red side or for the blue side or whoever, like that's kind of like how hyped up I would get for just big games.
Right.
And I think around 2016 was when Blast Camp played, back when CPX was a field. A we played a CPL is what they call it. So it's like the
Okay.
Chicago Paintball League or CPX Paintball League, and
Mhm.
did all right. That was like our first tournament, and then the year after that, we pretty much just played MWXL, which was at Badlands, and
Okay.
that kind of started like from that year on. Pretty much haven't missed a season of playing paintball of some sort
Mhm.
of league in the NXL or the MPPL, like the Midwest
Mhm.
Paintball Players League that used to be out here in Illinois, um, or in Indiana, I believe, and just
Mhm.
a lot of playing paintball and just a lot of playing paintball with the same guys too. That's pretty much how I would go about that, or advice that I would give to other
Nice.
people is just like play as much paintball as you possibly can, play as many tournaments as you possibly can,
Mhm.
and just kind of gain that experience. And I'm doing all this at like a young age. I've always kind of hung around people that were older than me, and that's no that's the exact same on this team. Like you
Yeah.
said, Moorhead's been playing pro for as long as I've been alive, so that right there
Right.
should tell you something.
Yeah.
And so I've always kind of hung around like an older crowd. I've always kind of acted a little bit
Nice.
older for my age, and
Mhm.
so it was always kind of nice like having friends that were a little older, but also understanding like I'm not the I'm not the shot or whatever. I think that really helped me like going up the ranks, playing with people like my guy Josh Rice, Big Papa, like playing with him and kind of having him like watching him play the back center. And then it's kind of like full circle a couple weeks ago at the Mid American X Ball League. He's playing I think his team got like second or third. He's playing at the tournament and I'm commentating him, and it's kind of like just that full circle of like, wow, I used to play with him and now it's like I'm playing pro, and now I'm watching him like play a tournament again, and really like he helped me out. He's a big guy that helped me out through my career, and so
That's
those
awesome.
were really formative times for like, I don't know, me as a paintball player was like those
Mhm.
drives down to Pekin Paintball, uh early in the morning, just driving through cornfields with my dad, with my parents, with Nathan, with the guys going down there to play at MPPL, driving up to Badlands at 6 in the morning, like that was pretty much the grind. And so nowadays it's a much different grind, you know, it's a lot more flights and not as many tournaments. I felt like we used to play so many tournaments back in the day. I felt like well
Oh,
actually one time with Blast Camp, we played an MSXL D4 X Ball, our first ever X Ball event on a
yeah.
Saturday in Indianapolis. And then we drove because there was a Badlands tournament on Sunday, a 5-man
Hmm.
tournament. So we played that. We didn't win. We got like third or fourth or something. Played in like one of those
Hmm.
crappy third and fourth match games at the end of the day. And then we all drive up to Badlands in Chicago and go and play that the next day. And it's like, that's just like that's something that sticks in my head. And we won that tournament at the Badlands the next day. Like that sticks in my head
Nice.
of like just the grind and the literal like just it doesn't work, like just doing it again and just doing it again and just doing it again, like
Hmm.
that repetition. And when you're doing it with people you enjoy doing it with and your friends, your family, like, you know, that makes it so much easier.
Yeah. No, for sure. Um, so what's your first marker? What was your first marker that you were ripping it on?
Um, I my first marker that was mine was a Titman A5 with a response trigger, and
Okay.
then I used that for a while, and that was pretty good. But I remember the first like speedball gun I got was a Dangerous Power G4, but it leaked
Okay.
straight out of the box, and that was like notorious for those guns. I remember it was
Oh,
just everyone's like a Dangerous Power, like a G3 or a G4, and everyone would be like, "Oh, they just leak, they just leak, they just leak," and matter like, of course, it leaks straight out of the box. But I was literally like, I was the kid at the paintball field, Hal, that like I couldn't go 2 weeks with the same paintball gun. Like I would be on the Facebook, like once I was old enough to get Facebook, I was on the buy
yeah.
sell trades, I was on PB Nation. Like I was just once I figured out all that stuff, I was
Yeah.
trading guns left and right every single week, buying stuff, selling it. Like nowadays it's like, you know, I use the same gun every time, you know. It's like last year
Yeah.
was the first time that I had two guns in my rotation
Yeah.
since forever ago. And so it's like it's almost like a blur. I remember those two guns, and then after that, there's those guns that you remember that you're like, that one shot amazing. I love that one. That one was horrible. But yeah, the first gun, Tippmann A5 with a response trigger. I remember that was like a big thing
Big deal.
back then.
Didn't that have
And
the cyclone feed?
yeah.
That had the cyclone feed?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That big side piece.
Response
Yeah.
trigger with a cyclone feed. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
that's
dude, those
wild.
were should use one of those today, dude.
Dude, just go out there and mob, snipe people up. Oh, that's awesome.
Dude.
Yeah, I think my first gun was a JT, what was it? JT Proteum? Yeah, it's Proteum. I still have it.
Ooh.
I still have it. Yeah.
Dang.
It's in
Last time I
it's
was
in
on here, I
storage.
showed that picture of me holding my dad or my uncle's DM4, but that wasn't mine. And that was like
Yeah.
4 or 5 in that picture.
Yeah.
But
No, that's
dang.
awesome. What's the favorite? Yeah, I mean, you said you have a hard time remembering all of them. What's one of your favorites that you got to just run up?
Um, I would say, yeah. I remember, well, one time, the worst was one time I think I bought something off of like eBay or something, and it was like just
Mhm.
some crappy like pump, and it like, I think I got it for like maybe $100, and it just like didn't work. So that like kind of discouraged me. That was when I
Yeah.
think that was one of the only times I ever bought something off of like eBay. And so
Okay.
then the best one I would say there was a Geo 3.1 that was all orange. Like I'm talking like I think it had been part swapped and it was just like all orange. And this was at a time when like I don't know, I was just obsessed. Like I was wearing like a lot of like neon. Like I remember I would
Yeah.
have this purple beanie, and then I would have an all orange Geo 3.1, and
Yeah.
big into flexes back then, so I had a bunch of flex builds and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
that gun shot so well, and it was all orange. And I took the front grip off, so you weren't holding it, like you didn't have like the front grip, you were just holding like the metal front, and
Okay.
it was such like a game changer when they like switched from macro line to like the hose through the
Mm,
grip, and um
yeah.
that's just a gun that I remember. And that's also a gun like I said I would trade and everything. That was one where like after I was done with it, I traded it to someone or sold it, and then that went around like blast camp because everyone loved it because it was bright orange and everybody would use it and they would all like it. And it was like, that was the big thing before like the 3.5 came out, and so yeah, that one someone probably got that around here somewhere, but like that gun was
Awesome.
awesome. And then the gun I got off of eBay, yeah, that thing sucked.
That'll happen sometimes. You get a bust. That'll happen. eBay's like that. Um, yeah.
Oh, I can't hear you
What
anymore.
you can you hear me? Hello? Oh, I lost all connection with you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear
No?
me?
Yeah, I got you now. Can you hear
Hmm.
me? Technical difficulties, everybody. What is going on?
Hello?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah, yeah. I can hear you.
I can't hear you though.
Oh no. Um Unplug your headset. Here, I'll text you. Technical difficulties, everybody.
No, I can't hear you anymore.
Let's see, Jeffrey.
Technical difficulties. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can
Oh
you hear
shit,
me?
there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, you're a wizard. All right. Sorry
Back
about
to
that.
it.
I don't know what happened
No,
there.
no, it's fine. I haven't done one of these off of someone's phone yet, so we're working through it, everybody. Um, but back to it. No, that's awesome, and I'm a huge fan of orange. I love orange. It's my wedding ring. Or oh, other side. I mean,
Dude.
dude, love some orange. Did you ever get to shoot any like autocockers or anything like that? Have you gotten to dabble in those things at all?
Yeah, there was definitely a period there where like I was big into like the autococker pumps and like pump guns when we were playing like all the
Mm,
scenarios. Like I remember CCM pump guns were like the shit back then,
yeah.
and like the CCIs where there was like a magazine at blast camp when you could like you could like order like every specific part and then like make your own,
Hmm.
almost like the flex builds or like different parts and stuff. But yes, I did have an Empire Sniper pump, and then I had the Empire Resurrection, like the autococker version.
Yeah, yeah.
Other than that, I've never had like a real autococker pump or just autococker in general.
Okay.
But I mean, everybody at Blast Camp, like all the old school guys, like there was Chad that works at Blast Camp was out there during Wednesday night drills, like preparing for the pump 3v3 that we're gonna have, just like playing
Oh,
against guys that are shooting 10.5 balls a second,
yeah.
just running through the middle with an autococker pump, just dun, dun, like you hear him, you hear his gun, you're like, there's that guy. But like
Yeah, just
people are
rattling.
big in the pump game out here, so
That's cool. I
you big pump
I
guy
think,
though?
man, I haven't ran a pump in a long, long time. So not a big pump guy. But I've gotten to run some autocockers and they're sick. I like them. They're old school, but they're
Yeah,
freaking dope. Um,
yeah.
what was it? Yeah, I think I'm gonna come out for a weekend sometime after my surgery, and I'm gonna come out and come play at Blast Camp for a little bit for a weekend. So I get
Awesome, dude.
I get fully rehabilitated like July 1st. I'll probably give it an extra 2 weeks, so I'm a full 2-month cycle because they're taking out 9 pieces of metal out of my leg. So, that's gonna be fun. But
Yeah, give it a little extra time to heal there.
yeah, a little bit because I'm gonna beat the hell out of it, but that's fine. Um, so
It's fine.
yeah, it's good. I got it in there. I can handle taking it out. It's going to be a lot better getting it out than it was getting it in. I was 6 months. I was 6 months non-weight bearing because it was a spiral fracture in
Ooh.
3 pieces in my tibia, and so when they had to do it, it was so low. It was like one of the worst places to have a spiral fracture in your tibia, and you have to. Like I have 2 screws that are going in and they're like almost touching in the x-rays. Yeah, but I mean, and the plate actually runs down to the top of my ankle. So give it a little time. I'll let everything get calcified and then I'm going to go run amok. But yeah, after that, I would like to in some point in into July, I think I'm going to try and squeeze out there and go to get out to Blast Camp, go play with you boys for a little bit. Have a weekend of it.
Send you a snake off break first point.
Bro, first time I played, I don't know, 3 years ago. It was a while. I had a pretty big hiatus and I went down, played at Dynamic Paintball down here. And they're like, where do you want to go? I was like, I'll go Snake. It's good. I mean, I'm like 5'9", 5'10", somewhere in there. I'm not a small guy by any means. I went up and off the break, rolled up, and we were playing like some D3 guys. Rolled up, got into the 50 Snake, popped up, shot 3 of them. And then it was funny, this D5 team that was there was like, hey, do you want to come play with us? Like right after that point. I was like,
hell yeah.
I'm pretty dedicated, and it's D5, right? Like it's pretty lackadaisy, but they what was it? I never ended up playing with those guys in tournaments because I'm so dedicated. Like when they're playing, like there's another tournament going, and heat. Like I'm devoted to heat. Like I'm gonna have y'all come first. Like it's all good. But speaking of tournaments, though, I think Rye Guy is going to get us all in for a 10-man. Has he talked to you about this?
Ooh, no, but I'm down. I'm there.
Dude, yeah.
10-man
Like
all day.
sometime in August, I think we're going to go play. What is that? The ICPL? Go do like a 10-man tourney. And I think I'm going to roll in for that. That'd be a lot of fun. All of us getting together, go
awesome.
Running it up. Yeah. So,
dude, I'm down. Count me in.
Dude, right? Ton of fun. It'd be a blast. Bird said he would come out and coach us. Bird's like, I've won 3 10-mans and I'm hanging up the towel. He's like, I'm not playing. Ryan's like, come on, man. He's like, you got to play. He's like, I'll coach you.
Yeah.
And Ryan's like, okay. Moorhead's like, I'll take that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that'd be just
you gotta go out on a win. I don't blame him.
Neither do I at all. But I think that'd be a great just team building exercise because it's different. I mean, you double your numbers, so you have a lot more communication, bigger fields, a lot more going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's going to be a ton of fun. I got to talk to Moorhead a little more about that. We'll talk next weekend about it too. But not to get off topic, this is about Mr. J. Frey himself. You also have a vlog, and I love your vlogs, dude.
Oh yeah,
I enjoy the shit out of them. They're so much fun. So, what got you into wanting to
Thank
do a
you.
vlog? Yeah, of course.
I think mostly for most of my life, I've never really I don't know. I don't really like watch regular TV. Like for most of my life, I can always remember. It started with like I would always be interested in like I guess like now it would be like a fitness influencer, but there wasn't a bunch like that posted on YouTube back in the day, but they would all post these like day in a life vlogs. I guess really not just fitness, but that's kind of what I would watch is like it's almost like they're like it's interesting to see just what a person like eats in a day. Like that's
Yeah.
what would like spark my brain is like something so simple like this, or not even that, take that, but like people just showing their day. And
Yeah.
that was always like interesting to me. So it started with that, and then eventually I kind of meet Ronnie, and I see that he's essentially doing that. And then I think the game changing moment for me, or like what really turned my brain on like actually doing it was when I went to Amsterdam with Team USA U19 in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I look back at that trip. Like now I look back at that trip and I go, wow, like I really wish I would have vlogged that. I really wish I almost look at it as just documenting, like when I'm
Yeah.
older or when the teammates are older or guys like you or guys that are associated with the team that really know everybody, like I want to be able to look back at that and like and see these moments, see the places that we went and see just kind of like the memories that were made, or at least a very small portion of the trip or of the memories. And so yeah, there was something in that 2020 season that after the first event of semi-pro, I think that was another thing as well, was that 2020 season we went from D2 to semi-pro, and I
Yep.
just like I'm training with Ronnie and he's kind of always in my ear about it. And then one day I just took my phone and had a GoPro and just kind of recorded the day.
Yeah.
And nowadays I'm a lot more harsh, I guess, on like how I edit and what I do. The first maybe month of vlogs or videos, I would record all of them in a day, get home at 3, 4 o'clock after we go get some food after the day, like the paintball day is over, and I would edit those and then post them like the next day. Like I was just like a machine when it came to it at the beginning. And now I'm a little bit, like I said, I'm a little bit more diligent on kind of what I want to post and what I want to film and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
at the very beginning, I was just kind of hooked, and I've always been a guy that, and if you watch my channel, you probably see I don't have very many like reviews. I don't have very many like, everybody always asks for a gear bag video, and I'll give that to you guys here soon. But like the reviews and all of this other kind of other stuff like that never really hit me like and stuff I wanted to do. I've always
Right.
wanted to like just wake up in the morning, record, show you and then kind of like end it, or show a trip. And so
Yeah.
that's just kind of always like uh got my interest and got my attention. And so nowadays like even right here just like editing this, right? Like a lot of this is just like a lot of camcorder stuff, or
Mm-hmm.
I've always loved putting in like bloopers at the end, like just little
Yes.
things that is just they don't mean anything, but like if you watch the entire video it kind of is in stages, if you will. So
Mm-hmm.
I've always enjoyed it. Always watched YouTube. It's like, I really started it because I wished that I would have started it earlier. Really, that trip to Amsterdam was just like it was
Mm-hmm.
amazing, really. And I have pictures of it, but I don't have like a video
Video.
of Texas, or of Dallas or whatever. So um, yeah, I love doing it, and it takes me a lot longer to edit videos nowadays. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love it. So
Well, and I think you do a great job of it. I think it's phenomenal. Jay Frey vlogs, right? Is that what it is? Jay Frey vlogs.
Yeah, J Frey
on YouTube.
Vlogs. It is. It's you look up J Frey Vlogs or Jackson Frey on YouTube.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. No, you do a great job. And I know you broke the toggle for your Zoom, but I love that old grainy footage. Like it just brings this nostalgia, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you think of Push and all these other
Yeah.
you know, any other like iconic films, it's always like that grainy footage that just gets you pumped. It's so good.
Mm,
So no, I
yeah.
love it.
Somebody
I
commented. Somebody. Oh, sorry.
no, no, go.
Uh,
You're good.
somebody commented the the other or on one of my other videos. I thought was like I hadn't really thought about before, but they commented like when you see like old grainy footage like that, like it almost most of the time you're watching like something that happened a while ago, so like it's almost like a memory. And they
Yep.
commented and they said like it makes it feel like a memory, like that you're kind of there. And I think that's a great like that describes it perfectly. Like it feels like it
Mhm.
happened so long ago, even though it's just like
Yeah.
a video of Ronnie whatever, like, or it's
Yeah.
just a video of like us driving, or just a sunset, or like those little things, but it just has that much more, like it means a little bit more because it just kind of feels, like you said, nostalgic is a great word. And I didn't even like I didn't grow up in that era, like I hadn't watched Push all my life, watched 300 feet per second. Like I kind of grew up more on like the Dirter, kind of like from that
Yeah.
forward. uh but like all of that stuff way before, when I watch it now, it's so like it I didn't even experience it and it still like hits me, and
Yeah.
just the music choice and all those films, and um
Yep.
all of that stuff, like I just think is so interesting. And trying to kind of like put like a modern touch, I guess, if you will, where like right
Mhm.
now I'm looking at a vlog where like I have camcorder footage, I have GoPro footage, and I have regular vlog footage. So like trying to incorporate a little bit of everything and give a little bit of, some people may love the GoPro, the barrel cam. Some people might like that footage, that old nostalgic footage, and some people just want to listen to us like we're talking, just listen to you look at a camera and say your
Yeah.
thoughts. So
Yeah.
nowadays I'm trying to evolve a little bit and still try to put kind of like my touch on it to make it really feel like, you're there and you're kind of with us on this trip to Houston. So,
Yeah. And I think you do a great job of it. And I love, I grew up in the VHS era. Everything was, when mom and dad were recording, they had that big freaking, you know,
dude,
camp
like this,
VHS
they were
camcorder out,
recording
and
you with
it's
a
like,
bazooka.
yeah, it's like, yeah. And I think it hits I think it hits home. Like it just feels like a
Yeah.
memory. And I think you do a great job and I
Hmm.
love what you're doing. So no, keep it up. You're crushing it. If you haven't checked him out,
You,
go check
brother.
him out. Yeah. I appreciate you, man. Go check him out. He absolutely crushes his vlogs. You know, so check that out. Now, the next thing I want to ask you, you know, you you rolled onto this team, bunch of young blood, and I think it's a great thing. But the question I really want to ask you is, you know, coming into an organization like this, it's been the same way for so long that we may miss little things. What would you like to see the old guard? And this isn't, don't take this as like a, it's not a dig anywhere, but what could we do to help facilitate and improve you and Soap and Cody and Andy? What is your take? Because you have a brilliant mind for paintball. And I love it when you get to when I truly love it when y'all speak up. And I know everybody else does too, because y'all are as much of the team as anybody else. It doesn't matter how long anybody's been with Heat. I think I think when you're kind of, Heat hadn't had a big roster change, in a long, long time. I mean, we picked up someone here and there, but
Mhm.
That gets you stuck in certain ways. What do you think as the old guard, like if there's a way they could facilitate and help y'all better, what would you like to see come out of that a little more? Like, and because I mean,
You know,
I think everyone's growing, and that's what we want to learn is how to help grow everyone. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's funny you asked that question, or it's a coincidence that I think one thing that I think kind of talking with the guys or talking with at least Ronnie, and having these two practices, we're able to talk about these things and incorporate it. So, I think a big thing on the webcast last tournament, or at least that I heard a couple times, was like zone control, letting guys fill out. And so, looking at that, we go into these next two practices, and huge shout out to Ronnie and Ryan Moorhead for really kind of spearheading these and really making sure that everybody's on the same page at practice. Shout out to Ronnie for having the clipboard or the iPad there, really making sure that we're talking about um, different zones and just kind of different, the evolution of the game, and kind of like, the game is kind of getting, uh, it seems like the game's getting a little bit slower, but to a certain extent, like, the gaps are getting a lot smaller than they used to be. If you looked at a field, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, there wasn't
Mhm.
four huge, rectangles in the middle of the field. So
Right.
I kind of think, 10 Excel 2015 to 2025, I think the game is finally kind of starting to evolve into a way, I think with paintball fit winning, like that's got to be the most proof right there. The game is kind of changing. It isn't all just experience, it's all just like, being able to play together and being able to know the field layout and being able to, like we said earlier, really playing for the guy next to you, like really,
Yes.
really wanting that deep down inside for everyone to have that success. And sorry, that was a kind of a little bit of a tangent there, but that goes
No,
back to
you're
like
good.
these last two practices. We've been able to talk about these things, figure out, okay, like, how can we not let these guys fill, or how can we hold the zones in a more effective way. And everyone being open, everyone sharing of like, well, this is what I'm seeing in that situation. This is what Soap's seeing. This is what Ryan's seeing. Like everyone being willing, and sometimes you got to be willing. Like at practice, I came off the field one time, and I was like, hey, just so everybody knows, like I'm having a really hard time, like in that point right there, I'll be honest, like I had a hard time with the variables, and I lost just the point. Being able to go up to somebody and say that, and like have the other guy that receives that information not get mad, not get whatever. That is like the stuff that I think we've really been able to work on over the past 2 weeks. And yeah, like, to answer your question, I think it's, yeah, like the zone control and everything, but we don't really need to. I don't even need to say that right now, because I think everyone already knows, and we already have already started the steps to kind of get that resolved, right? So like
Yeah.
that's nothing new for the guys that have been at the practices, but yeah, I would say that, man, and like I said, like when everybody's bought into it and really wants the best for everybody and for the team, that's where I think you get those conversations, and it could come off as a hard conversation, or it could come off as like I'm saying you didn't hold the zone, but in reality it's like, well, you hold the zone, I hold the zone. It doesn't matter if we win, we're all going to be we're that's what everybody wants. And so,
Yeah.
just having that mentality and that mindset through everything, through training on a Friday here to on an off weekend to at the tournament and the overtime point and the most important point of the game or the finals. So like
Yeah.
that's I think it's a really good thing, and like I said, man, it's hard to, Tampa happened so long ago that like we've already kind of been able to fix some of those mistakes and right some of those wrongs and talk about it and think about it, that like it's kind of hard to think about some of that stuff because I feel like it has changed a little bit and we have grown, a significant amount. I mean,
Yeah.
even, we're talking 2 practices, 4 days, but like I said earlier, it's those days on the field, and then it's the dinner after, it's the hanging out after, it's the being around each other for a team that really has, 4 new guys and then 5 guys that team before. Like that is really that's key for moments like this and for times like this,
Hmm.
for situations like this. And so
Hmm.
yeah, man, it's hard to really even say because I feel like we have had some good practices under our belt, and I'm ready to
Yeah.
work even harder at the next one. So
Right. No, and it's like the what we talked about, buying in. Everyone's buying in. Everyone believes in everybody that is here. And I think it's just an amazing thing. Um, but
yeah,
um, I do want to say this. I want, and I know everyone else feels the same. Like, I hope y'all feel comfortable about speaking up. And I know this is like in a, oh, there you are. I
sorry.
hope y'all, no, you're fine. You're good. I hope y'all all feel comfortable about speaking up because all of y'all have brilliant minds.
Mm,
And like, that's what speaking up is what
yeah,
wins tournaments. It's what wins points. It's what makes every second
yeah,
counts. And like, I know
hmm,
being the new
yeah,
guy, I know being the new guy, you're just like, I'm gonna sit back here and like, sometimes I'm like this when I'm the new guy, like at a job or whatever. I'm like, I don't really know if I can speak up. Well, that's not fair because I'm already part of this team and I
yeah,
can speak up. So I think all y'all are just
hmm,
brilliant in the craft that y'all are doing. And
yeah,
so, no, y'all are just fantastic. I'm
yeah.
so excited.
That's
Like, what's up? Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's nice of you to bring that up, or it's good of you to bring that up because I mean, I'll be honest, like I definitely kind of felt uh I don't know. It's just kind of a unique situation for me. Like I just
Yeah.
said, like I'm 23 years old. Like I'm playing next to Ryan Moorhead, who's been playing pro for 20 something years, right? Longer than me. And so I do think that there is a little bit of, or at least there was, first practice, second practice, like a little bit of, like I want to learn and I don't want to come across as, I know everything because I definitely don't. But there was a little bit of kind of like holding my tongue, and I feel like I didn't kind of express some things kind of I think a little bit in like first couple practice. It's also hard. I thought I kind of played bad at a couple of the practices leading up to the event. So but being able to get over that, you're exactly right. Like just because I play bad, that doesn't mean I can't say anything. So like being
Mhm.
able to kind of get over that hump and really know that yes, like you are here for a reason, like you are there to show your perspective. We have a bunch of different perspectives so that we can all see everyone's different perspective. And
Mhm.
it's good of you to bring that up because I definitely felt a little bit of that, and definitely don't feel it anymore after these last 2 practices, and
Good.
after you go through a tournament with everybody. Like it really that really bonds you together, is going through a tournament like that, having a loss like that, going through a grind of a game like that against Dynasty, against the Russians, like that's where you really see what people are made of. That's where you see what people are capable of. And that's really like, a test, a true test. And I'm excited to go to the next event. It kind of sucks that we play like the same exact teams. Like I want to play, more teams, but we pretty much play,
Yeah.
the same teams plus Aftershock. So that'll be exciting. And I love to play paintball playing. I don't care. But yeah, man, it's nice that you brought that up because like I said, it's definitely a unique situation for me, talking with, the somebody that's played pro for my entire life, there is kind of a sense of like, well, he obviously knows a lot more than me, right? Uh like I'm not
Well,
gonna, correct him or whatever it may be, but um gaining a little bit more experience and gelling and really just getting to know somebody like Moorhead, it's like once you get to know that dude, it's like how can you hate that guy, so it's like once you really get to
yeah,
know somebody and you sit down and you talk with them and you just have that like that bonding and that chemistry,
yeah,
it makes it way easier on the field, of course, but off the
yes,
field as well is and that communication, like you said in the pits, is so crucial that you can't be, I got to know you even like your nonverbal or just your body language, sometimes to
yeah.
tell like, okay, Hal wants to do this or Hal's thinking this or whatever it may be. So it's all, it's all a part of the process.
Well, and I will tell you this. So I've been a professional athlete in my time, and I will tell you this: if you have earned the right to be picked up, you have earned the right to have just as much voice as anybody else, because it's hi, Sersha. Um, you you have been picked up to be on this team, so you have just as much voice. It's not a sharehold. I own more shares, so I get the loudest voice. That's not how this fucking works.
Yeah,
You
and
are part
that's
of a team to be successful. And so
yeah.
you have, and so Andy, Cody, y'all have just as much voice as anybody else. And it is just as important to be able to speak up and be able to talk about it. And yes, they have had there's a lot of experience on this team, right? We can't disagree with that. I mean, Mishka, Chad George, Sam, Ronnie, Ryan,
Hmm.
they have a lot of experience, but you know what helps success is bringing a new mindset in people that see things differently. What does a business do? How many clothing companies are there out there? There's
A
millions,
lot.
right? Millions. But you find this one company that's like, let's do this differently. And guess what? They blow up bigger than anybody else. If we don't
Hmm.
have that, if we don't have that as a team, then you're not you limit your success.
Yeah.
Having a different perspective is great in athletes, in business, in life, jobs, whatever it is. Having the different aspects will set you apart and create success. So I hope y'all all
Mhm.
understand that. And it's not like you're like, oh shit, I'm playing with Mishka. Mishka's been playing since 94. It's like, yeah, but you could bring a totally different viewpoint that he's never thought of.
Mhm.
And it's like, I think that is so crucial. And I think personally, it's why we have y'all here. Hey, y'all are great athletes. You're great at your skill set. No shit, Jackson. I love how you shoot off the break. Dude, you rip them up. And you know what's funny? I've talked to Moorhead in the past. I'm like, man, our off the break shooting's just not good. We're not getting these kills off the breaks, and it kills us later on.
Mhm.
Well, guess what? All this new blood and energy is brought in. I mean, how many times in Tampa were we shooting off the break and just ripping them up off the break?
Yeah.
Your skill
It's a
set,
great feeling.
no, dude. I mean, I told Moorhead, I said, we've shot in Tampa. I was like, we shot off the break better than we have in a long time. And I think
Yeah.
I think it's a huge factor and contribution of what y'all are doing too. Like, we need all pieces of the puzzle to complete it. And if we don't have all pieces of the puzzle, we don't complete the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
But I think that is a very important thing for y'all to realize, that y'all have just as much voice as the old guard, because we wouldn't have a team without you. What would we have been? We would have been this year. We would have been Sam, Chad, Ronnie, Ryan, Mishka. We would have had one line. And look what you're doing. It's not like they just played the old guard this in Tampa. They were playing everybody, and we were dominating. It was great. So I think it's very important for y'all to feel comfortable in this organization, because I know everyone is beyond excited to have y'all, and you earned your spot to be here. He wouldn't have reached out if we didn't see your full potential. But we're all going to grow from it. So that's my take. Hot take. Let it ride. I think it's I love having y'all here, and I know everyone is the same. So don't be shy. Don't be intimidated. I don't know. You said it's gotten better in the past 2 practices, and I know everyone feels the same. Like, speak up. You're just you own just as much shares as anybody else, right? Like, you are part of this team, because you wouldn't be if your potential wasn't seen. So
And that's such a big part in like today's game of paintball, is just like just being willing to have the conversations off the field, to like have the hard conversations off the field, so that when you get into a situation that may seem from the outside tense, or even when you're in the situation tense or complicated or whatever, like having the hard conversations, and honestly like screwing up in practice and screwing up a good amount, to where we can have those conversations, and then we can end the point. We don't have to think about it anymore. We've already talked and we know what we're going to do.
yeah,
And I just think that's, kind of how the game's being played now, and how, the game could evolve even more. And so, and it just makes everybody confident. Moorhead talks about confidence a lot, and the more I play with him, the more I understand. It's like, he says, if you want to go to this bunker, I think there's a higher percentage chance than, if I just, the coach just says go to the Dorito one. It's like, well, I want to go to the corner. It's like, well, if you believe you're going to make it going to the corner, I think you're going to make it. That's going to give me mentally, it may give you that 1 or 2% chance, and you make it, and he's just a really confident guy. Definitely need to learn, and take a little bit of that from him, because I am more of like a shy guy and a shy personality. And, yeah, it's got really good, and having those conversations on the field, off the field, just makes everybody's lives easier, from the coaching to even the pit staff. It's like, I'm sure if you like from a pit staff perspective, like if you have good communication, it's like, or even if you're just aware, it's like, okay, hey, you want your pods up or down, or how many do you need, or what do you need? I'll take your gun. Like, communication from the pit outwards is like kind of like that nucleus, and then it just kind of goes out from that. So like if you're in the pits and we're not being efficient, or we're not getting points across, like of course we're not going to be able to go into the heat of battle, and we're like they're shooting at us, and be able to communicate calmly and effectively. So yeah, that's just a pretty underrated, I think, part of the game, that unless you're really at the top level or in the pro division, I think it's kind of overlooked maybe, or just not taken, um, to the most priority, so.
yeah. No, I think y'all don't have any reason to be shy. Like I said, you have just as much voice as anybody else, and your inputs are important because your inputs are what create success. So, with that, I know we're at an hour and 10 minutes. I know you got plans tonight. I don't want to keep you. You graciously blessed me with hopping on kind of last minute. So I usually ask Ryan Moorhead for dad advice, but you know, I'm going to ask you for a hint of life advice. What would you give our listeners, viewers? Just doesn't have
Yeah.
to be long, whatever you want to give, but just something about life advice.
Yeah, I think to kind of go off that last point there, something that uh I guess learned or have kind of just gotten in the past 2 or 3 years is really understanding, like, if you want anything in life, whatever it may be, like you have to act on it. It's not gonna happen. It's not just gonna fall into your hands. Like, you have to work at it, or even just simply just putting it out there. Like, even the first step is like telling somebody else, or saying it and then doing it and then living it. Like, that's the thing, is just like, just get started with it. Just like I said with the vlogging, it's like I just did it one day, and now I'm sitting in front of my laptop, and it's just like what I do.
Yeah.
I play paintball, in 2009, and I'm hooked, and it's just what I do. And unless
Mhm.
I stop, or until I get to the day where it's like I don't enjoy it, or I don't want to do it, or I can't physically, it's like, as long as I'm putting the work in, it's like that it will gradually compound, and someday you may be on Houston Heat. Who knows? It's like, it
That's
could,
right.
like, you never think of it when you start, but when you look back, 16 years later, it's like, wow. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for having me on.
Good.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's go have a good Friday night here, Hal, and play some
Yeah,
paintball
boy.
in the morning, man. I can't wait.
Hell yeah, man. We'll see you soon. Take her easy, Bubba.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you.